let me help you understand how January 6th ties to the mayor race in California right now. What we were standing up against is something that is called the blue shift. The blue shift is a term that I came across in this document, and here's what it reads. In recent elections, Democrats have been far more likely than Republicans to vote by mail. As a result, the vote count shifts in favor of Democratic candidates as mail-in ballots are counted after Election Day. This phenomenon is called the blue shift. For the 2020 election, many more Democrats than Republicans have requested mail-in ballots, strongly indicating that Democrats will again be more likely to vote by mail than Republicans. Consequently, in a close election, it's likely that the November 3 count will show Trump leading, and that Biden will take the lead as mail-in ballots are counted. It goes on to talk about how Trump's already peddling the conspiracy theory that the blue shift is evidence of non-existent voter fraud. The blue shift is the operation. So I came across this term and I wanted to understand more about it. It's a part of this document that is specifically targeted, and it's a playbook written out for the radical left and those that consume the radical left media, which comes from these small news outlets, which I have listed here. But these small news outlets are putting out exactly how to fight Trump in a contested election. That's the point of this document, is to explain how to fight Trump when he contests the election. And the way they sell it is by labeling him the worst thing in the world and calling all of us and his supporters Nazis. And the end of this document, one of the last things, is to stage a riot inside the Capitol to prevent Congress from rejecting the fraudulently slated electors. So, after all else fails to cover up the blue shift, and they prepare people for the exact scenario that unfolds, the lawsuits and all, the last case scenario is to stage a riot in the Capitol to prevent Mike Pence from rejecting the fraudulently slated electors, which were all fraudulent because the legislation was changed with the excuse of COVID. The mail-in ballots, COVID, it was their cover. Anyways, this blue shift, what it is, it describes a pattern that arose after the 2004 elections. This pattern arose where the Democrats would take the lead the next day. It arose out of 2004, which is when the machines were installed for the first time en masse across our country. And that was because of an act called the Help America Vote Act, which was passed in 2002 after and in the chaos of 9/11. And it was passed under the excuse, that we need, under the 2000 election chaos, they used that as the excuse to pass this Help America Vote Act, which pushed machines. Within days of the election in 2000 ending, they had put together a panel of experts between two major universities that came up with this fix for the voting chaos that we were seeing between Al Gore and George Bush. Anyways, so this HAVA Act pushes through machines en masse. At the same time, in 2003, there was a monopoly on the software that was controlling these machines, and to provide the outcome of exactly what we're seeing. Blue shifts everywhere. This pattern arose across our country, and in 2013, they coined the term blue shift to substantiate this pattern that they were describing in the media. So what they did was they started using the blue shift term in the mainstream media, warning everybody ahead of time. It's called predictive programming, preconditioning people to accept the term when it's given after they steal the election. The blue shift is not an ordinary organic pattern. It's installed. And it's not an accident that term that was coined around the same time that Obama repealed the Smith-Mundt Act. And now this is where it gets crazy. Do you know that in order for the blue shift to take place, which is mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, all kinds of election procedures changes. In order for that to take place across the country, the Obama administration had to sue states into compliance. The Obama administration sued states into compliance to produce exactly what you're seeing in places like LA and California. This pattern was all across the country. California is a great example of where one of the places it really first arose, with a race for attorney general by a woman named Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is one of the first beneficiaries of this blue shift operation. They have been installing their candidates all across our country. And the shift that our country has taken blue is not organic. So what January 6th was us standing up to the blue shift of America. They were stealing another election. They were stealing the presidential election, and we saw through it. They unleashed a virus over the world to justify exactly what happened. And it all comes from somewhere. But this organization needs this control around our country to very strategically, meticulously dismantle our way of life, who we are, and subvert our people. It's deep. And that mayor race in California for the black communists, the games that they're playing, that's blue shift operation happening in real time. And I'm glad there are more eyes on it this time around than there was 6 years ago during 2020. They hunted us down and made examples out of us in order to substantiate the blue shift and the narrative that they were selling about the people that were protesting their blue shift, their stolen election. An example needs to be made out of them. That's the point we're at. There's no like, hey, I hope everyone understands what happened. No, an example needs to be made out of them in power that have purposefully done this to our country. They have subverted our country and socially programmed our people against each other.